Thank you for joining the A-Team in our presentation on the emerging trend of social media, what it is, and where it's taking us. Let's take a moment to get social and meet our presenters. My name is Sade Ward Daniels, and you will also hear from Chris Piper, Maisha Clemens, Heather Nichols, and Matt Dick. Social media, simply defined, is the use of internet-based tools and platforms that increase and enhance the sharing of information using the foundation of Web 2.0. As you can see on this slide, there are various types of social media, all surrounded by you and your message. Social media is a form of interactive online communications in which users can generate and share content through text, images, audio, and/or video. Social media can take many forms, including microblogging, sites such as Facebook, Google+, and Twitter. I'm sure many of you have reached out to a friend from high school or maybe even a family member living in a different state via Facebook. Or maybe you've recently posted a tweet on Twitter about current world events or sports. Social media makes this communication fun, interactive, and convenient. There are also many other types of social media, like forums, customer review websites, and bulletin boards, such as Yelp, or photo and video sites, such as Pinterest, Flickr, Instagram, and YouTube. There are even sites that enable professional networking, like LinkedIn, and social games, like Farmville and Cityville. In this presentation, we will discuss 4 different functions of social media. First, we will discuss the social aspect by sharing what's social about social media. This will include things from communicating with friends and family to online dating and finding fun events to attend. Next, we'll discuss social media inside a business organization. In this section, we will discuss the benefits, potential threats, risk management, and vendor management. Following this section, we will discuss social media's role in content marketing, the evolution of social media in business, advertising, and product sales. And lastly, we'll discuss the future of social media. I now turn the presentation over to my colleague, Chris.
What's social about social media? Well, there are many different social media outlets on the internet that help people exchange information in various ways. These ways are considered new to many of us and are used to simply keep in touch or socialize with our friends or with a group of folks on any given topic over the internet. Facebook is one that we're all very aware of. It's hugely popular, and also Twitter is also hugely popular. And these are like general social media websites where we can do pictures and you can chat with folks. And Google Plus is also one that you may not be aware of, but it's used to go across all of the social layers that Google's services provide. These are general social media websites, but there's some specialized websites that I'd like to talk about. And some of those websites are used just for dating. One of those websites is Match.com, another is eHarmony, and the one that I found to be interesting is Our Time, which is a dating site that understands what it is to be over the age of 50 and also celebrates that exciting chapter of our lives. So it's a dating site for folks who are over 50 years old. We also have some social media sites that are aimed for the younger folks and even some of the pre-teens and teenagers and college-age students. These are very popular sites. And Instagram is one of them. Snapchat, which is a video messaging application. Instagram is a photo sharing and video sharing application. And also Vine is a short form video sharing service where users can share 6-second long looping video clips. And that social media site makes for some funny videos. There's also some professionally used social media websites, And I think everyone's aware of LinkedIn. It's hugely popular. It's got over 20 million members. As of 2006, has increased to 20 million members. That's amazing. But there's also a couple more. One's called Branch Out, which is a Facebook application designed for finding jobs and networking professionally. Rise.com is a free and paid social networking website designed to link business professionals together, particularly new entrepreneurs. So that's very interesting. And then also another form of social media that was really new to me because I'm not very much of a gamer, but the gaming world has their own social media. Raptor is a social networking website, an instant messaging website that targets video game players. Playfire is a social gaming networking website targeted towards hardcore video gamers. And Duckster is the premier destination for gamers of their own acclaim. So that's a very fast growing sector of social media. And all of those sectors are very useful for all the different types of socialization that goes on the internet today. And I see in the future it'll probably be even more diverse as we continue to come up with new ways to branch out and increase our social activity using our internet. There are some negative social aspects concerning social media. A false sense of connection can occur, according to Cornell University's Steven Strogatz, when social media sites make it more difficult for us to distinguish between the meaningful relationships we foster in the real world and the numerous casual relationships formed through social media. By focusing so much of our time and psychic energy on these less meaningful relationships, our most important relationships will be neglected and will weaken. That is not a good thing, especially when it comes to your family. Speaking of family, our children need to be protected from cyberbullying. They are the most vulnerable to the practice of cyberbullying, in which the perpetrators anonymously or even posing as people their victims trust terrorize individuals in front of their peers. The devastation of these online attacks can leave deep mental scars in young folks. And in several well-publicized cases, these victims have even been driven to committing suicide. That is absolutely horrible. And there's one that affects me actually at work, and it's decreased productivity. So I'm a director of operations. It's very important to me to produce our product at a very efficient pace. And when I go out onto my production floor and I see people on their phones and on their social media apps, I don't appreciate it very much. So while many businesses use social networking sites to find and communicate with clients, the sites can also prove a great distraction to employees. And research has shown that British companies lost $2.2 billion a year to this social phenomenon. New technology products have become available that allow social networks to be blocked, but their effectiveness remains spotty throughout the workplace. So this is something that we have to continue to work on in management to be able to make sure that these social media outlets don't produce less than what we could be producing when people aren't looking at them. Another concern of social media is privacy. Social networking sites encourage people to be more public about their personal lives. Because intimate details of our lives can be posted so easily, users are prone to bypass the filters they might normally employ when talking about their private lives. What's more, the things they post remain available indefinitely. While at one moment a photo of friends doing shots at a party may seem harmless, the image may appear less attractive in the context of an employer doing a background check. While most sites allow their users to control who's seeing the things they've posted, such limitations are often forgotten, can be difficult to control, or don't work as well as advertised. So don't post that picture of you doing a beer bong because your boss might see it. And also, don't post pictures of you when you're on vacation, because it lets criminals know that you're away from your home. These are all different things that have to be thought of when it comes to your privacy and how social media affects your privacy.
Now that Chris has discussed the social uses in our personal lives, let's explore some of the business applications and aspects of social media. Similar to the outlets Chris presented for personal uses, comparable business platforms exist for interorganizational communication. For example, Yammer is what you would call a business Twitter. It allows users with the same email domain to join a network. On this network, employees communicate on current projects they're working on, corporate policies, and cultural issues. Yammer is a tool which is effective in breaking down barriers between business units. Digsby is an IM application which supports most mainstream IM protocols, such as Yahoo and Google. Also on Digsby, users can also receive notifications and alerts from Facebook and Twitter. Another great tool is Skype for Business. Now, I personally love this tool. It allows users to make telephone calls via the internet, hold video conferences, share files, and also creates an email transcript of IM communication. Again, this is one of my personal favorites. This tool allowed me to document how much time I was spending assisting my staff on projects and also kept a record of the content of those meetings. Now, I'm pretty sure most of us have heard of Wikipedia, which is no doubt the most notorious wiki. You can think of Wiki as a website that allows easy creation and editing on any number of interlinked web pages. Many businesses also use podcasts, which are digital audio or media files made available for download. These tools can be very beneficial to companies if used effectively. Businesses can use social media to improve vendor relationships by seeking product service feedback and asking questions such as, what are we doing right? What could we be doing better? And if they're really bold, what are we doing wrong? Companies can introduce new products or announce product changes, as well as seek recommendation for new products or services from those that know the industry well. Many companies are now using social media as a global platform in which they hold virtual meetings and have product service demonstrations. Social media also help companies create an internal social network which can improve relationships across functional silos, increase project transparency which fosters open information sharing, help find internal expertise, and share information real time. Social media can be used to find qualified candidates for employment opportunities. However, before making this option an official part of the employee search process, companies must ensure applicable regulations are in place to prevent discriminatory hiring practices and consequential termination as a result of something an employee posted on social media. Despite all of the positive effects of social media, like most things in nature, there exists a yin and a yang effect, which brings us to the risks and threats that are presented by social media. For example, when trying to implement an effective social platform, employee buy-in is key. However, in many instances, businesses are faced with cultural change resistance. Employees have the "we've always done it this way" attitude. There are industry regulatory requirements and information leak safeguards which companies must adhere to in order to protect proprietary information and trade secrets. Social media outlets can have unauthorized usage and misrepresentation. Companies on social media can have their reputation hurt by disgruntled employees and customers. Now, a very serious risk exists in which company systems exposure is vulnerable and susceptible to malware or attacks. Now, the risk above seem very scary. However, in most situations, pros outweigh the cons. If a company is cognizant of the risks they are exposed to, they can employ effective countermeasures to protect against them. Next, my colleague Heather will expand on the corporate use of social media by focusing on content marketing.
Thank you, Maisha. We understand how businesses utilize social media internally, as well as risks associated with social media. Let's evaluate the return by reviewing content marketing. Content marketing is defined as a process used to create and distribute content on a regular basis with the purpose of engaging, informing, and persuading current and potential customers. Social media has added new, exciting, and less expensive platforms for organizations to use in their marketing strategies. Prior to social media, Organizations would utilize newsletters, advertisements and coupons, onboarding mailers, and free seminars. Today, businesses can utilize e-newsletters, pop-up ads and cookies, email and text messages, and free webinars. All of these online platforms create less friction than traditional mediums, meaning they are less expensive to present, more easily produced, and typically have a greater opening rate than, say, traditional junk mail. Let's look at how Heritage Bank of the South utilizes content marketing to better understand how all of the pieces work together. Let's use this scenario. You happen to be interested in buying a new home, so you've been talking about it on Facebook. The Heritage Bank marketing team posts a link with information about buying a home and pays to boost the post. It shows up in your newsfeed because you match the advertising criteria, i.e., local zip code, interested in buying a home. You read the article and like the Heritage Bank Facebook page, where you later see a link to the bank's e-newsletter advertising more information about mortgages. So you click that link. You're taken to the bank's issue page to read the newsletter, in which is embedded a video. You click the link to watch the video hosted on the bank's YouTube page. Here you find additional videos on the home buying process. Finally, you click a link from YouTube to the bank's website, where you are presented an ad for home loans. This ad takes you to an application page where you can actually apply for that home loan you've been considering. At this point, Heritage Bank of the South has done several things. They've established credibility, familiarized you with the brand, and they have the potential to embed a cookie on your computer. With technology continually evolving and making it easier to engage one another on social media, one has to wonder, where are we headed now? For that answer, I turn you to my colleague, Matt.
Now that my teammates have shared a little bit about social media with you, let's discuss what the future of social media is. Based on our research, the future lies or resides in what I like to call CHEERS, which is an acronym detailing the major areas where we are beginning to see and will continue to see social media used. These areas consist of crisis management, healthcare, education, and employment and entrepreneurship, revolutions, and social outlets. Now let's dive a little deeper into each of the components of CHEERS. The first being crisis management. Companies and law enforcement have begun using and will continue to use social media such as Twitter, Facebook, blogs, and SMS messages to keep the public apprised of various crises, such as the plane crashes that have occurred in June of 2013, like the Qantas A380 engine fire, and the Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 that crashed in March of 2014. They were also used in bombings, earthquakes, and to let us know about Amber Alerts as well as other abductions. The next component in CHEERS is healthcare. Imagine hiking the Appalachian Trail and being bit by a snake, or falling and fracturing a leg. Well, thanks to FaceTime and Skype, you can now have a virtual consultation with your doctor to temporarily remedy the situation until you can seek face-to-face medical attention. Or maybe you decide to use YouTube instead to watch a video that will show you what to do and how to do it. You may even try a simpler approach and send a tweet giving your approximate location accompanied by a picture for a park ranger, law enforcement, or some other rescue team to find you. Social media also provides research groups, charities, and victims of various diseases an opportunity to increase awareness and raise funds. The future is in cheaper in-home clinical trials using surveys and questionnaires by video chat, Facebook, or instant messaging. This ultimately will result in lower research costs, which will yield lower medication costs, which in turn leads to greater access for a greater percentage of the population to that same medication. The next component is education. While some educators are already using social media, this is a growing trend that is likely to continue in the future. For example, YouTube has great academic use to learn about history, mathematics, or even information technology, as you've seen in this course. It can also be used for, personally, to learn how to repair a dishwasher, speak a new language, or simple child rearing tips. Discussion boards where students can share ideas and discuss course topics to obtain a greater understanding of the material are even available and provide an opportunity for greater education and learning. Social media sites such as LinkedIn have given rise to new employment opportunities and provided an opportunity to connect with former coworkers or connect with friends or family or friends of friends or friends of family. And the growing trend for successful employment searches is in who you know and establishing those connections and relationships with people who can help you get that next interview. Sites like Fiverr are on the brink of the future of employment with entrepreneurship and contracting. It's where you can connect with people who need a skill, service, or product that you can offer. For example, after reading in Yahoo Finance's Business Insider an article entitled, "This Woman Quit Her Job, Paid Her Debts, and Bought a House Thanks to a Side Job That Earns $9,000 a Month," you'll have a greater appreciation of what something like Fiverr can do for you. People will become their own boss and work their own hours, which is going to provide a greater work-life balance. The next item or component in the CHEERS acronym is revolutions. And there's two aspects to this, both the social and the military. Social revolutions, which demonstrate about inhumane treatments and civil unrest, led to the Million Man March in 1995 in Washington, D.C. They're also informing on political and civil climate changes such as the al-Assad regime in Syria, and promoting propaganda, both true and false, so you must always be wary and trust only a portion of what you read, and you need to verify those facts. The information, because of social media, has and will continue to become the future of warfare as well. Two of the most noted uses of social media in this manner have been the Arab Spring and the rise of ISIL or ISIS. Ground troop movements and locations of friendly and enemy targets are being tweeted and messaged on Facebook and blogs. How will wars be fought and won? How will a distinction be made between military and non-military combatants? Videos of gunfights are being uploaded to YouTube for you to see real time. What impact will this have on the future of warfare? And finally, we come to the social outlets. Where humans are and continue to be social creatures, we have an innate need to interact with one another. We will continue to share our lives, our families, and our communities with each other using Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, FaceTime, and even Skype. Many of the media outlets continue to increase their relevance as news outlets, especially with the millennial generation. Some in the millennial generation only get their news from the social media outlets. For a more futuristic concept to come, please visit YouTube to watch a video called A Day Made of Glass Part 1 and A Day Made of Glass Part 2. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. We hope you've enjoyed it, and have a great day.